All right, now we've started our recording, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. Ready? So we're going to go into desk or mycbdesk.com, and we're going to look for our Market Quest 2 tile. So as I scroll down, I can see my Market Quest V2, so it is the second version tile here. I'm also able to look at it here. So this field here is a little bit different from last week. Excuse me. I can filter through. I want to make sure that everything's checked off so I don't miss anything at all. And I can start typing in Market Quest, and you'll see I have the first one and then the second one. So for this class, we're going to go into V2. The first version's not going to be around too much longer. It's not quite as nice. So they have made some new adjustments to it. So we're going to go ahead and go right into the tool. So what this is going to do is it's going to give you the opportunity to be able to share some of this information out on your Facebook page. If you work in an area that is number one, you're able to share that on your Facebook business page. Now, notice that I said that you work in the area that's number one. We know that you guys go all over the place. I work with agents that travel all over Maryland. So if you find something in an area that you buy or sell in or would buy or sell in, feel free to share that. You'll see this is our number one claims, our market position, and I know that our goal as a company is always to increase market share. The reason for that isn't just because we want lots of money. We want to dominate the market. We want to have as many Coldwell Banker Realty signs out there as possible, because that means that we are the go-to company for people when they think of real estate, which obviously benefits all of you, our agents. So we can do a number one claims, and you'll see when you come into the tool, we have the Bright MLS is just my default here. And then I can search right here for a city, for a county, or for a zip code. I can also go through, if I'm not finding anything, let's say I'm plugging in some zip codes. So I'm going to plug in where I live. It's not going to come up, but I'm going to plug that in. There are no number one claims in this area. So I feel like I failed my community. I should be a real estate agent now. No, I'm just kidding. So I can X off of that. And what I can also do, if I don't want to keep plugging in areas or counties or zip codes, I can go down here and I can actually look through cities. Now you'll see, and I'll make this a little bit bigger just so that we can see it. You'll see a lot of these are grayed out. That just means that this location does not have a number one claim at this time. So it doesn't mean that it didn't have one last month or it's not going to have one next month. It just doesn't have one right at this time. So you can see here, the very first one that popped up is Aberdeen, Maryland. So here I can click on the little radio button, and this will work the same for any city that pops up that you are interested in. We're just going to use this one as an example. And you're going to see here, I can click through on this tile here, and it's going to pop up. There we go. Double click on it, and it's going to pop up. Coldwell Banker Realty is number one in Aberdeen, Maryland. Now I can see that Coldwell Banker is neck and neck with Cummings and Company, Long and Foster, Berkshire Hathaway, Home Service Sales. I can't ever say all that. PenFed Realty, good gracious. And Exit Preferred are way down on the list. I'm not even I'm not even seeing a KW here. As a reformed KW person, I noticed that immediately. So I probably don't want to share the number one graph because I don't want to show that we're neck and neck with another company. I just want to show that we're number one because we are. We're tied for number one. Nobody needs to know that. So I'm going to go in to the download marketing assets, and I can select the asset that I would like to utilize on my particular Facebook page. Now you'll see there's also a home spotter ad here. If I want to take out an ad, I want to pay for an ad for the Boost My Home Spotter. I can send that out as well. Let everyone know that I'm an agent in this area. We are #1 in the area. That means that I'm #1 in the area by default, of course. And I can push that out, or I can just go in, and for this purpose, we're going to go in and download this social media tactic. So you have some different options here for this social image. You can go with the wide version. This works very well on Facebook. But if you're wondering, should I do wide? Should I do tall? Should I do square? There's a little eye here that we can click on. And again, we can see if you forget. The wide is very good for a Facebook post, or we can use the square version for Instagram, or there's also a tall version for an Instagram story if you're into those, or possibly would also work on a Facebook story. The square version, although it does say that it is meant for Instagram, I'm going to go ahead and click on that one, and I'm going to pull that one up. And honestly, this will also work on your Facebook page. You know, you can do the wide, you can do the square, whichever you do. When you click on that, it is going to pop up down here on the left-hand side. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open that. This is how mine opens on my computer. So I'm just going to save as. And I'm going to go in and find a place on my computer that I want to store this. I have a brand serve folder. So that might be, you know, I might want to have a market quest. I'm going to go ahead and create a new folder for myself. I'm going to call it market quest. And I'm going to go ahead and put that in here. So I'm just going to put Aberdeen #1, and I'm going to save it to the computer. Now, once I have this social image saved for the particular area that I'm looking in, I'm going to go ahead and hit this plus tab up here, and I'm going to open up a new tab in my browser. I'm then going to click on Facebook. I'm going to go to Facebook. If you have that in your bookmarks, if you just type it into the browser, it's going to send this to, it's going to send us to our Facebook page. From there, I do want to click on my pages, or I can search up here. It is the last one that I was in, or I can choose it from all of the pages that I'm involved in. And I can go to my Coldwell Banker business page. So you'll see here I'm on my business page. The last time that I posted something, it's been 3 hours. So I can go ahead and post this now if I want to. I can go into create post. I can go ahead and click on that photo, video, that little green, you know, it's always like the mountains with the moon or the sun. And I can go into my pictures. I can go into my brand serve. And again, you might just want to put this on your desktop and call it a day. You can do that. I tend to be really organized on the computer so I can find things, just how my brain works. And then I can click on the tactic, and here it is. It's going to come up for my Facebook post. Then I want to say something about it. So what should I say about this post? That, my friends, is completely up to you. So letting them know that we have the, you know, power of Coldwell Banker behind us. I'm just going to say, I'm so excited to announce. Oh, well, and of course, I'm a Maryland real estate agent, so I'm always going to say realty. I'm never going to just say CB or Coldwell Banker. Coldwell Banker Realty is ranked #1 in the Aberdeen market. Contact me today if you are considering moving in 2021. Again, you can say whatever it is that you want to say here. Definitely want to make a comment about being excited. You know, we're announcing that we're #1, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to post this to our Facebook page. So once that's done, you'll see here, it did all come up. Facebook and Instagram do work very well together. Again, if you do want to go back and you want to use that social image and you want to use the wide version, you can do that as well. And you'll just see that's just a little bit wider. And that is, it will tell you this is based on all buying side units for Aberdeen and all price ranges reported directly from the MLS on today's date. That is the period from January to December in 2020. So that gives me the opportunity then to say, maybe I want to change this. Coldwell Banker is ranked number one, and you know what, maybe we was ranked number one in the Aberdeen market for 2020. That lets them know for the entire year. For the entire year, we were number one in that market. So, you know, contact me if you want to move in 2021. So it lets them know. And again, talk about your experience. Talk about the fact that you are in this area, that you buy and sell in this area. Maybe this is your area of expertise. Once I'm done, I can then go and click on this claims button here, and I can go back to the beginning. Maybe I have a specific zip code that I'm looking for. I can also filter through there, or again, I can just click on that particular zip code. This one's Aberdeen. I did cheat just a little bit. And you'll see now I'm getting two different tactics. So here's the tactic that I just shared. And here I can see last year we were number one in the zip code. And actually, we were over everyone else. And this is buying side volume. So we were number one by 8 million. So yay for the Hartford County Regional Office. Keller Williams was next, Cummings and Company, Exit Preferred, and Long and Foster. Again, because these are so close to each other, I may not want to share that portion, but I can share this portion. And again, I'm just going to go into social media, and again, ranked number one. So that's going to look just like my other post did. So I'm going to let my other post stick. I can also go by county. So you'll see all the counties are listed as we scroll through. You know, is our county listed? Is our county not listed? Sometimes it's a little depressing, I will tell you, to go through and you know, we're not seeing the county that we work in. It's not on here. That just means, you know, I'm going to go out and buy and sell a little bit more, talk to my manager, find out what I can do to rock my county. Cities, again, you can go in like we did with Aberdeen, but you can also go in and look for specific cities here in this search area. So I'm going to refresh that. And again, I can go into the city, look that up. If I want to show 12 per page, do I want to show up to 60 per page? I can do that. I can just scroll through these and look through them if I want as well, depending on what you're looking for. We also have market position. So you'll see that isn't up to date just yet. Due to financial reporting timelines, the year to date will not include the current quarter data. Well, of course not, because we're not done yet. So quarter 4 data will be available in the earnings call on the 23rd of February. So that's up and coming. It's right around the corner, and that's okay too. And this, for some reason, is taking its good old time, but we can go and look through different claims. Do we want to group by brokerage? Of course, for Coldwell Banker Realty. Do we want to look for specific property types, a date range, a price range, transaction size? All of those things we can look for in the system. And again, these are things that we can push out on our Facebook pages. If you get stuck, there is a chat feature here. It will initiate the chat. It will take a moment or two for it to connect to an agent that's going to help you. That will be a real live person on the other end of that. So if you get stuck, they are there to help you. I'll go ahead and end the chat because I don't really have a new question. And also, how would you rate your experience? So maybe you've come in and you don't, you think this is very easy to use. Maybe you're not finding things that you want, but the tool itself is pretty easy to use. You can hit a like, you can hit a dislike, maybe you hate it, love it, maybe you're just neutral, and tell them about your experience. This is how we got to version 2. Version 1 was a little bit cumbersome. Agents didn't like the way that it was working. They wanted it to be a little bit easier to use, and they took that knowledge and they just rocked it. So again, I can go in, I can look for my specific zip code and see if my specific zip code has come up. So in this case, it has for Westminster. And I can see that I'm beating everyone else in Westminster. So again, because it's neck and neck, and sometimes you'll open these and it blows my mind. We're all the way up here and everybody else is all the way down here. So in these, we're a little bit closer. And maybe I just want to, and again, you can use this social media image where it's going to give the actual brokerages and statistics. Just personally for me, for my marketing, I am just a big fan of just sharing that we're number one. We're number one in this zip code. We're number one in Westminster. Guess what? I work in the Westminster office. I'm a Carroll County expert. If you're looking to buy or sell in this area, please call me. I work for the brokerage that is ranked number one. What does that mean? That means I'm the number one. I'm one of the number one agents in this area. Who else are you going to call to buy or sell your house? Like, seriously. And maybe I have this, and there's multiple areas that I work in. For my marketing and my branding, I like everything to kind of look similar. So I'm probably going to choose either wide or square for my marketing. I'm going to pick one. I'm not going to kind of go back and forth, although you can. Just for my personal, I'm going to go ahead and click on the square. And I'm going to open that, and I'm going to save that the same way that I did before. So again, once it's opened, because mine opened in this way, I'm just going to save as. I'm going to find that Market Quest folder, or maybe you want to put it on your desktop. And this is where I can put Westminster. Yes, I said Westminster, not Westminster. I had an agent call me on that the other day. She was like, I'm glad you pronounced that correctly. So I can throw that in here. Well, now I've already posted something here, and I don't want to post back to back on my Facebook page because that would be spamming my friends and family and all the people that are following me on my page. So I have another option here. Maybe I want to go in and do these all at one time. I don't want to spend time on this later in the week. I'm not going to have time. I'm going to be out playing in the snow. So I'm going to go down on my business page. You're going to come in. This is exactly, your page is going to be set up. And on the left-hand toolbar, you're going to see this lovely, wonderful tab called Publishing Tools. This is going to save you some time in your marketing. I guarantee it. So I'm going to click on Publishing Tools in my tab, and I'm going to get to the published post. So here's published post. I can see I haven't reached anybody. There's no engagements yet on this one. Mine aren't very good. I need to build my page up. But here I have scheduled posts. So now I have everything that's going to come out on my page. You can see I'm a busy bee. I go in here and I utilize this because ain't nobody got time for that. I do not have time to be on Facebook all day long playing around. So I'm going to go in. I'm going to determine. I have a little calendar on the side that I've drawn out, and I know when I have things that are coming out that are going to be posted to my Facebook page. I can go in and look at that because you'll see here, these are in the order that I put them in. Excuse me, they're not in any kind of date order, so they're kind of all jumbled around. So I'm just going to go in, I'm going to look at my little calendar, I'm going to look at my strategy, and I'm going to create my post. Now, because this is dated for today, obviously I don't want it to come out too far in advance. I do want it to be current. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to grab this particular Westminster and say, Coldwell Banker Realty is number one in Westminster. If you are considering buying or selling in 2021, Contact me and I can give you the best. I can, and I can help. I'm just going to be short and sweet and to the point. Maybe I'm going to say, contact me today. I can help. And then I'm able to schedule this post. So whatever it is you want to say, go ahead and type that in. You have your photo here. I'm going to hit schedule post. And this is going to work exactly the same way that it does when you post it organically on your page, but I can choose the date and the time. So Facebook is basically going to hold on to this post. And when I say, hey, tomorrow on the 12th, I'm going to look at my calendar. I'm going to see I don't have anything coming out really in the afternoon. So at like 12, we'll go with 12:11. I do off times because when you go back on your page and you look through, I don't want to look like a robot's posting. I don't want it to be 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 7 o'clock. It's going to look very organic. It's going to look like I was on Facebook at that time posting something. And then I'm just going to click on this schedule button. What that's going to do, yes, I want to stay on the page. That's going to come up and now you'll see I can't see it. It's not here. So I want to refresh this page. If I hit this refresh button at the top, it's going to send me to my publishing tools. So I'm just going to click publishing tools. I'm going to quickly click on scheduled post. And here is this post. I can click and I can get a post preview. This is exactly what this is going to look like when it comes out on my Facebook page. It's going to have what I typed. I can go back through and edit that if I want to. I can reschedule, and it's going to come out tomorrow, the 12th at 12:11 p.m. So that's how I could schedule that so that I can go into Market Quest now and I can look for all the claims that I want to look at. I can go through and look for all the different counties that I work in. And again, don't be upset if you go in and you find a specific city or a county or a zip code and you click through and there's no #1 claims. That's okay. Come in next month, try again. These change all the time. So you'll see, I can just go in. I want to, probably for this one, I want to tell it Maryland. But here I've just said Frederick and nothing came up, and that's okay. So it does get, don't get frustrated. Just know that, sometimes it's a little hit or miss, and that's okay. Again, we know that sales go up and down. But here I want to show, I can also show just 1 million. So do I work in an area that is #1 for global luxury properties? And here it's probably much easier to just kind of scroll through and look at some of the zip codes. Are these zip codes that I work in? Do I even know what some of these zip codes are? So this zip code here, I don't know what it is. How do I know if I work there? I'm just going to go to Google. I'm going to put in that particular zip code, and it's going to come up and let me know. That is Annapolis. Guess what? If you are willing to go to Annapolis, if you work in Annapolis, go ahead and share some of these. Just because your office isn't located there doesn't mean that you can't share it. You can see we do dominate Annapolis. We dominate that area considerably. Anne Arundel County, where Annapolis is. And then here I can just kind of scroll through and see what some of these are. And again, if this is an area that you are familiar with, it's an area of your expertise, it's an area that you buy or sell in, have at it. Feel free to go through and to share that information. And then don't forget to untoggle and share everything, not just $1 million and above. You can also group these by office. You can group them by time period. So if I'm looking for last year, maybe I'm looking for last quarter, maybe I just want last month. I can do that as well. I can look for the sales side. Do I want units? Do I also want volume? Do I want to increase, which one do I want? And transaction side, do I want the total transaction sides? Do I just want listings? Do I just want buying? And you can see when I'm toggling, these are changing. And that's okay. I just want to go through again, look through the cities. You can scroll through here. Anything that comes up in that black writing, that is one that has one of these tactics, tiles, whatever you want to call them, a post for you to use. Arnold, Maryland. So I know, Pam, I believe you sold a house down there, if I'm not incorrect. And you can go through and you can look at what's available. Again, don't be discouraged if you go in and you don't see a lot of things, because again, this isn't something, we don't want to like spam Facebook with these either. We want them to be unique. We want them to be special. But again, this is just some extra that we can push out there, let everyone know that we are the best in where we work. And look, Persia in the Towson office has already liked my post. So it just lets people know. I like to push this out. I like all my friends to know that you guys are the very, very best. Get some of those referrals to send to you as well. So that's really all we have. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, we'll go ahead and stop our